What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How's all you people doing out there? This is Londell McMillan. Y'all know who it is. How's everybody doing? Give a shout out. We getting sourced. We getting sourced up. We getting sourced up. What's up, family? How's everybody doing? Let's tap in. Let's tap in. I see you. I see you broke by Monday. Got Blues 51 278. Let's go, family. How y'all doing? Don't forget, 6 o'clock p.m., we've got the most sampled man in hip hop history, him and James Brown, George Clinton from the legendary Parliament Funkadelics. We gonna be sourced up. He gonna be Mr. Atomic Dog himself, One Nation Under the Groove, you know, all the major records, all the Snoop records, all the Dr. Dre records, well, most of all of the Dr. Dre records that were hits. Snoop Doggy Dogg is a sample of Atomic Dog. 6 o'clock, we're going to be talking to the king and the godfather of funk. But right now, we're actually going to have a conversation briefly with a young man who's a science teacher. He's a science teacher in the Bronx. His name is Devonte James. We just want to know what's going on with the school, what's happening with our kids. Everyone knows that New York is having one of the largest epidemics in the world. It's more than double any other state right now. And so the Bronx is getting hit the hardest with this coronavirus. It's getting hit the hardest. So we want to make sure that we're talking to people who are touching us. Yesterday, we had a great conversation moderated by Miss Sonia Davy. And we were talking to Dr. Page, who delivers babies. And she spoke a lot about how they're dealing with the crisis of delivering babies during this very crazy time right now. So things are really, really difficult. But, you know, we're going to keep riding. We're going to keep pushing. We also want to know how things are going to go with our young people. The whole school system is challenged right now. You know, they got people who they can't teach in the classroom, and then they're sending people home for remote instructions. But a lot of these people don't even have computer. A lot of these people can't log in and tap in properly. So we want to know what's happening. We want Mr. Devonte James to come in and talk about how it's going down in the Bronx. So we're going to wait for him to join in, and hopefully he knows how to operate this system, and we can take it from there. Let's see if he's ready to go. I don't see him. I don't see him yet. But how's everybody doing? What do you prefer, East Coast or West Coast, about music old school? Wow, that's a tough question. You're asking the owner of the source to pick a coast, right? I'm not gonna pick a coast because there's records that are from the West Coast that are hot. There's records from the East Coast that are hot. I'm from the East Coast, but a lot of the people who are making records back in that period from the West Coast, they sampled a lot of George Clinton songs, and he'll be on later, so we're gonna get him on. But we're waiting for Mr. Devonte James, and he's not on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to people until we wait for Mr. Devonte James and see what people got to say. Let me tap into who's ready to be tapped into. Okay, Mr. Lucky, Mr. Curtis. We got Mr. Curtis coming in. Let's see what he's got to say. Okay, he's not coming through. Let's see what we can do. Okay, I think I see Mr. Devonte. See if we can get Mr. Devonte. Mr. Devonte
Hey,
James, how are you,
how you
sir?
doing, boss? I'm good. I'm good. I've been requested it in. I don't know what happened.
Okay, okay. Thank
How's
you.
everything?
How you doing, teacher?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. It's an honor to be on this right now. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's supporting this right now. It's been a tough time, but we're pushing through. Shout out to all my teachers right now. Definitely.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on and what grade you teach. Tell our viewers what's happening with teaching our young people
All
up
right.
in the Bronx.
So I'm actually a science teacher in the Bronx. I teach elementary school from K to 2 right now. We're going to move on to third grade. I've been teaching for about 3 to 4 years, science actually for only elementary school. But it's been hitting the Bronx right now because actually my school's been out since about March 14th. We had a little bit of a scare epidemic in our school that we had to close down immediately. But luckily, no one at our school did have the COVID-19. But what we did, though, I would shout out my school. We actually did send home Chromebooks to all of our students. So that's one thing that we're doing. We send home Chromebooks to all of our students, and then they actually also gave those who didn't have Wi-Fi. We send home hotspots, so you can have the little cell phones, your old T-Mobile phones or your Android phones. You can just connect hotspot to it. So a lot of the families who couldn't afford Wi-Fi, we sent home a lot of hotspots with them as well. So that was the first case of action when we were closed in March, in the early sets of March, and now it's been phase two. It's April now. We thought we would have been home, back in school already. But we still here.
Right. So Devonte, to actually deal with everything that they need to keep up.
But say that again.
How are y'all dealing with the students who don't have the technical equipment to keep up with the instructions electronically?
So, like I mentioned before, we actually had to give all the students the Chromebooks. It was hard at first because like a lot of kids didn't have the technology to keep up. So we had to go about our way. Shout out to my CEO of my school, actually went on her way to actually send home some Chromebooks throughout this time. We were mailing some home. We sent home hotspots, like I said previously. And it was just something that we had to quickly adjust to because now what we're doing, we're having Zoom conferences with these kids. Literally like a classroom settings. I have science with them and I'm doing science experiments just to keep that interaction because these kids in the Bronx and everywhere actually really depend and rely on teachers every single day. So once they see our face, you can see the joy and like having them to actually do some work it's still fulfilling. And I know it helps the parents a lot because my sisters and my brothers are all parents at this time and they're saying like, shout out to you being a teacher because this is not easy.
Right. It's not easy. One of the viewers said, what state are we talking about? So
New York.
yeah,
Yeah, New York.
yeah.
New York City.
And the Bronx in particular, right?
Yeah, in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. My mom's who live in Brooklyn. My mom's actually a teacher also, and she's getting hit hard with it as well in Brooklyn. So it's like it's affecting everybody. Everybody.
Right. So one of the things that we learned is that the Bronx is having the most cases of deaths from corona. How is that impacting the young children, like psychologically? Do you notice any distractions? Are they talking about it? You're a science teacher. Are you guys talking about what's going on right now?
So yeah, we try to like scare their minds off of it. To be honest, the kids do mention it sometimes. One time I did this experiment where I took like the black pepper and I threw my finger in some soap and then you saw like the reaction happen. They were like, "Oh my God, is that the virus?" And just have to educate them at the same time, but also make them know that it's okay to be at home right now, to be safe and make sure they learn about all the safety precautions and all these things. But they're kids, they're curious, they're going to ask. But as an adult, you need to make sure that you educate them and as well as just take their mind off of it because you don't want a little kid to be stressed out and thinking that they go outside, they're gonna get sick and unfortunately may pass away. So you want to just let them understand that it's okay.
Wow. So you teach science. What are the ages of the young people that you're working with? And science is a big issue right now because a lot of politics are in the discussion right now about what's happening when it should really be what's happening with the science before we can determine what's going to happen next. What age are you teaching, and how much of this science issue is coming up that the kids are aware of with the actual issue going on right now?
So currently I teach elementary school science from ages 5. Sometimes some of the kids are a little bit older, 5 to about, let's say, 8, 9, 10 years old. So it's a wide range where their minds are just like sponges. So me being a science teacher, they come into my classroom back when we had classrooms. They come into my classroom just so ready to learn and just be educated. A lot of them want to be future scientists, future doctors, future nurses. So it's actually it's a bit rewarding coming from the Bronx, and I'm actually one of the only black male science teachers. So they see someone that they can relate to, someone that they look up to. So it's more of like an inspiration for them, I would say, currently.
Yeah. And are they like fully aware what's really going on or no?
I think so. I mean, it's at first they probably wasn't, but now it's been over a month and they're home now. Like I'm pretty sure that they're definitely aware of what's going on. And it's a bit sad to me because actually when I went to the grocery store not too long ago, a couple of days ago, I'm masked up, gloves up, and taking my safety precautions, of course. And I saw kids out there as well, and they're doing the same thing. And I was just like, I can only imagine me as a child during this time how I would want to be. You can't go outside and play with your friends. The weather's getting warmer. You can't ride your bike or a certain amount of places. Like I can just only imagine how they're coping with it, but all I could say is, this will pass, this shall pass too, and we're hopefully whenever this is done, they can go back to regular life.
Yeah. Are they making sure y'all get y'all full paycheck?
Yeah. Yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to say that teachers are, and currently I'm still working because I still have to teach every day, and I'm blessed to have a job. And I know a lot of people that have been affected through this financially, and it's hard, and it's a lot, because still bills have to be paid, and I'm blessed and fortunate to be getting this paycheck right now. But my heart goes out to those people who aren't working right now. And I just hope that this is just going to pass right through and everybody can just go back to living their normal lives.
So what do you think about all of the great work that's being done by all of the people in the medical professions and the nurses and the doctors? Are y'all talking about that kind of stuff?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, I want to shout out to all because I mean I have a lot of family who are nurses who are essential workers right now who go out every single day and are doing the frontline work, and it's a lot. Friends, everyone who is actually out there right now, and I send them what I can do. I give them a call, I FaceTime them, I give them my shout outs because at this time when I'm home doing my job, they're out there doing theirs, and it's not easy. And a lot of my students actually have parents who are essential workers and who are nurses and who actually had to talk to a mom who said that she can't video chat during the day until after 5, 6 o'clock because that's when she comes home from work, and she's a nurse and she's pregnant. So it's like all these things that they have to deal with as kids, and they're seeing their family, and they're seeing all these things around them. So we like I said mentioned before, we just have to make sure that we just keep our kids focused, even though we go through a lot. This is not easy process for adults, but always think about the future.
That's amazing. Yeah. Where'd you go to college, bro?
I went to Pace University.
In New York, right?
Yeah, I went to Pace University in Westchester, and then I studied at Fordham for a few years after that.
You know you were going to be a teacher? Did you always want to be a teacher?
Nah, not at all. I actually wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, I was pre-med, and that's why I studied for Fordham. I was pursuing my medical degree, and I wanted to be pre-med and going to med school. And then I just got this grand opportunity to someone wanted a science teacher, and I had a science background. So I said, why not? And I started pursuing education ever since.
How long you been teaching?
For about 4 years now.
Okay. What do you love most about it? What do you love, man?
I love the impact. I love the kids. I love to see them, and that's the part that I'm missing right now. Just that interaction. Like I remember those teachers who impacted my life, and these kids. I feel like every day, especially when you're in a poor neighborhood in a community where they need that upliftment, those role models every day, and I see them, and to not have that interaction, that's why I try my best to keep that going.
Right. A lot of people thought we just use our platform for celebrities and more music, but for us right now, you guys are our celebrities, man. You're the ones that we value. You're essential services. You're holding our
Thank you
down, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I
appreciate what you guys are doing. I was tuned in yesterday to the doctor on it, and you guys are continuously doing these live series, like spreading awareness throughout everywhere. And it's really dope how, you know, a culture of hip hop and music and magazine and everything could just collab for one goal at this time. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And the goal is to really to educate and inspire. We don't care if 30 people on, 40 people on, 300 people on. We're going to put it on our live. We're going to, at the end of the day, let thousands see and get this information. So what is it that you would like for the people to really know about our children at this time?
What I would like everyone to know that our kids are safe. There's resources out there for kids who are hungry, who are going through anything. There's so many resources out there. Make sure you keep in contact with your Department of Education in your neighborhood. A lot of free meals, a lot of free computers, a lot of free technology. Read with your kids every day. You do not want them to fall behind, because we're going to get back into it. And, you know, the people of our background are the ones who are going to have to work harder all the time. So make sure your kids are on top of their work, and, you know, just try your best and be there for your even if it's not your child. Like if you have a niece or a nephew or cousin, just call them up and make sure that they're doing their homework, that they're focusing on them and their books right now. Because if they get wrapped up in this COVID-19 watching news as we are watching it, they're gonna get depressed, and the kids do get depressed as well. So make sure they just have that one thing that they could focus on and normalize that in your household.
So I know you teach science, but you know hip hop is such a powerful force all over. Does hip hop ever enter into your classroom, and do the
Oh, of
kids?
course.
Huh?
Of course. I have these
Hip
things
hop,
on.
hip hop jumps up in your classroom.
Yep. Of course, sometimes we have little dance parties on Fridays in my class.
Wow.
You know, the kids, they know all the dances, they know all these things. You'd be so surprised. My kids are on TikTok doing all these dances every day, and I'm just like, wow. You know, hip hop is essential to growing up for everybody.
Do you find a way to use it as a way to get them excited so that you can teach them some more valuable life lessons?
Exactly. I do that all the time. Sometimes I try to take a quote from somewhere or play a song, like I said, during the end of the lesson, just so they can feel like they're comfortable with me. And that's why they always enjoy coming to my class, because I engage them with something that they're regularly doing every day.
So that means you got to keep up not with old school. You got to be current with what's going on right now.
Yeah, right. They into that. What's that? Old Town Road. You know, that's like whatever. That's rock pop.
Yeah.
The
They
kids
into
love all
Roddy
that
Rich.
now.
They into all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Roddy Rich, Cardi B. The kids love Cardi too. You'd be surprised.
You know, I saw Cardi on last night with Bernie Sanders, and you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people criticize Cardi, and she's like certainly a character, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, she's not dumb by any means.
She's not at all. Not at all. Like she has more knowledge than a lot of people about politicians and the political world, more than a lot. So a lot of people that I know. So a shout out to her and what she's doing with her platform, because she has a voice. So as long as you're using your voice for positivity, that's all that matters at this time.
So as a teacher, when these kids graduate and you no longer actually see them and they keep moving, how does that make you feel? Like, you know, you're happy that they're graduating, they're learning, but you're also kind of parting ways with some of these kids. How does that make you feel as someone who's actually developed a great relationship and been a mentor and a teacher for them?
It's just like letting go, but you know, at the end of the day, they're gonna go out to be someone or somewhere in the future, and it makes me feel good that I had some type of impact or part of their story, you know, because like I mentioned before, a lot of these students say that they want to be doctors and they want to be future presidents and scientists and all these things to me, and I tell them that they could do it. They can do whatever they want. So sometimes it takes that one person that motivated them, and they could be like, oh, I remember my elementary school science teacher, hopefully, that looked out for me, that said this, and they come back. So I always say, you know, keep on following your dream, and it makes me happy that they're growing and they're developing.
That's great. Anything else you want to say to the audience before we tap out? Because we really appreciate you. You know what I mean? Anything else you want to say?
I want to say shout out to all my peoples. I see a lot of my family, my friend, my frat here, and I see everybody here supporting. I love all the support. Shout out to some of my teachers I see here as well on the live. So I just appreciate the support, and I appreciate you guys for giving me this time, this platform to vocalize what's going on. You know, like I said, this is very trying times. Just keep on praying, be blessed. Find your faith, find your new hobby, find something to keep you moving.
Well, we appreciate you for all you do. You know, you're certainly essential, not just during this time, but for all times, you know, and we're proud of you. We're proud of you for stepping it up, and very grateful to have had you just share your time with us. And like the people in the medical profession, you know, the teachers, as well as others who keep us kind of safe and educated and fed, we owe you a great service. And we're going to keep moving, and we're going to get ready for George Clinton. You know about
Yep,
George Clinton?
I'll be tuned in for that too at 6. Yep.
You know about George Clinton?
Yeah, you know, come on. I'm from Brooklyn, like I said, but a lot of my family, my older family, you know, put me onto good music. So I'll be tuned in.
Okay, well, thank you, Devonte. We appreciate
Thank you.
you,
Salute,
man.
guys.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Take care, brother.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. I want to thank everybody for jumping in. You know, a lot of people ask, how come we don't just have the rap artists? How come we don't just have the athletes on? Because, you know, we're about the culture. So if you're looking for just the hot beat, you're not looking for the source. And that young man, you know, is a teacher, is teaching our young people. I don't care if he could have been in New Hampshire, he could have been in Boston, he could have been in Atlanta, could have been in DC, could have been in Michigan, Chicago, he could have been in Oakland, he could have been anywhere. And it just so happens that he was available. And we want you to actually send us through our social media people who you want to hear from and you want to see, not just the people who we hear from all every day on every platform. We want to talk to real people. We want people to actually who are putting in that work, who are educating our people. We're part of the culture. You can say whatever you want. What is the culture? The culture just can't be hip hop industry. The culture has got to be touching people, right? And so we're going to build it back up. We're not here just to be a trend, just to look at numbers. We're here to nourish people. That's what we're about. That's why I bought the source. It wasn't about hype. I had all the hype. We had all the hype. We want everybody to give back, pull up, and we can have a good time and listen to the music. Things we do with the music, we like new artists, emerging artists. We like giving new opportunities, but we also represent the people who paved the way. We go from the beginning to the ending, and it's all good. We're very excited. That young man had a beautiful energy. His energy was beautiful. And we're going to also now talk to a man who actually paved the way for a lot of hip hop through his samples, George Clinton. I don't know. Y'all need to research that. We got 30 minutes or so before you research. Atomic Dog, One Nation Under the Groove, Flashlight, Redbone. There's so much that he did for the culture. Wow, it's amazing. Him and James Brown and many others back there, Sly and the Family Stone, you know, they paved the way for hip hop. That's why Kendrick Lamar had him on his recent album and had him open up his album. That's why Dr. Dre owes an incredible debt to this man. That's why Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, all of these great ones, Anderson .Paak. He also is in the new movie, The Trills. So we need to check him out. Come back at 6, and we'll have a good time. Make sure you tell everybody, let's make it happen, okay? Y'all take care, and we'll be in touch soon. Peace. 6 o'clock. We back on. Tap in.